Hi, you are tuned into another episode of the Business in Shape with Leela podcast. I'm your host Leela, your business magical genie, an online business manager here to grant your operational wishes with systems, processes, and automation hacks that will optimize your workflows, making your coaching business more efficient and saving you hours of time you spend inside your business. Hello. Welcome to the Business in Shape with Leela podcast. I'm so excited for today's episode because we have an inspiring guest with us, Mehar Kaur. But you might know her as Mehar Labana from the online world, Instagram or LinkedIn. So she is a lawyer by profession, but her true passion is in coaching others to build and grow their businesses. Meher started her business journey when she was just 19 years old, and in this episode, we are going to dive into her journey and what's kept her going and how she has built her business over the last 7 years. So let's get started and welcome her into the episode. So, welcome to the Business in Shape with Leela podcast, Meher. I'm so excited to have you on my show today. You are someone who I was following you from almost 2 years by now because I've seen some of my clients were getting coached by you, and then since then I was following you, and then it is so pleasure to have you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. Wonderful. So, before we get into the actual episode, there is one question I always ask my guests on my podcast because I'm curious to know the answer for this question from successful people like you. So, my question is when you first started your business, what did success mean to you?
Honestly, when I first started my business, I was only 19 years old. So at that time, success was definitely earning a lot of money
Yeah,
because we 19-year-olds, we don't know anything other than material, I believe.
true, true.
um, as as I gradually aged, I would say, and got experienced in the world of business, I think it became more to do with transformation, more to do with results. But
Yeah.
definitely, when I started out, it was like making money from home.
Yeah. I think many of the people have that as the definition of the success when they start, especially. So, and now that I think you have been at this business for a while, almost 6 years, right?
7
So,
years.
yeah. So what does success look like for you right now? Did it change or did it evolve? How it evolved?
Yes, I would say money is definitely one of the big parts of running a business. But for
Yeah.
now, I believe that it is more to do with freedom. I would say freedom of all kinds. It's time, location, money, all kinds of freedom, and also the ability. And I will sound very cliche, but the ability to bring transformation and the ability to see a smile on the other person's face, to light up
Yeah.
their world, to change their world in one way or the other. That's really success to me right now.
Definitely. And I can very much relate to it, especially when you are a coach.
Yes.
When you coach other people, their success is your success. That's how a coach will look at it. And I can totally relate to it. And thank you so much. And I absolutely love that. So,
Thank
what
you.
would you say has been that one key, or maybe multiple factors, to your success in building this whole business from past 7 years? What is that one secret sauce for you?
If you were to ask me this question a couple of years ago or even months ago, I would have said completely different things. But right
Mm,
now, I actually sat down and analyzed the
mm,
key to success in this business, particularly, is a personal brand. It's nothing
right.
else. You
True.
build a personal brand and you attract opportunities of lifetime. Like
Mm,
recently, I have had the opportunity and the privilege to talk on one of the biggest platforms of India, which is Josh Talks.
yeah.
And the only reason they even reached out to me was because I had a personal brand. I invested in a personal brand. I leveraged a personal brand. And to anybody listening or watching this interview or podcast right now, I would say, if you're thinking about the possibilities that a personal brand will bring, stop right here, because I'm going to acknowledge it and I'm going to tell you that it is the future.
Yeah. Definitely. That's very interesting. And first of all, congratulations. I have seen the story about you being featured on Joe Stock. Super happy for you and can't wait to
I,
hear the whole episode. And Yeah, I think this one more question you briefly already answered, that you started your business when you were 19 years old. But I'm a bit curious about how your journey is, like how you started your entrepreneurial journey, and where did it start? When did you think of starting online business? What is that kicking
Absolutely.
factor for you?
Absolutely. So I think for starters, I was one of these intelligent students. So I had to take science in school. I had to take medical, but very soon I realized that I did not want to become a doctor. Then
Hmm.
I went on to trying my hand in fashion design, completely different line. But I
Okay.
knew that I had to do something creative and
Okay.
not something which is a lot to do with theory.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And then I wanted to, so I pivoted like a lot. I pivoted a lot and wasted a lot of my parents' money. But that's
Hmm.
fine.
Yeah.
At some point, I ventured into my now partner
Hmm.
was I met him when I started out, and he was the person who introduced me to the world of online business. This was a completely alien world to me, or word to me.
Okay. Okay.
And I started as a graphic designer very
Hmm.
soon. Okay, at that time, I was actually going to launch a course of
Okay.
my own in terms of a graphic designer. But
Okay.
I did a small survey on my Instagram story, did a poll and everything. And to
Hmm.
my surprise, or not surprisingly enough, everybody wanted to learn how to run a business and start an Instagram profile in a business from me. And nobody, no soul wanted to learn graphic design from me.
Right. Right.
So that's when I started my coaching journey. So it was really
Okay.
like a topsy-turvy journey, but
Right.
I stumbled upon this business.
That sounds so inspiring. So because you said like you actually wanted to launch a course on graphic design, and then but it 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 obviously lean into like business coaching. So I'm curious to hear more about what are the specific strategies and philosophies, because I'm sure when it is like 6 7 years back, there were very few people who were doing online coaching, or especially the business coaching model. So what are the philosophies or strategies or modalities, if I have to say, that have been most impactful in your whole journey of coaching business?
So I believe, answering the last question also, I am a lawyer, by the way. Did not do anything
Oh,
that I mentioned. Became a lawyer
okay.
instead.
Yeah.
So
Nice, nice.
yeah, very interested in many things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lovely question. I think that the most impactful thing in terms of coach, the modality that I used in coaching was the just the fact that I was using a lot of empathy. And
Right.
I think that people use it a lot to their advantage. They want to
Hmm.
be seen as a role model. That's the mistake a lot of coaches make.
Right.
They want to
Yeah.
be put on a pedestal, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That's when you lose connection. That's when you lose trust. That's when you lose interest.
Yeah.
When you become relatable, when you are approachable, when you are somebody who is, friendly yet professional,
Hmm.
empathetic, that is when you are a true coach in my terms.
True, 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 true. That's so lovely. I think I really loved the fact that you mentioned about being empathetic as a coach, because even now, because I'm also in the business from past 4 years, and then I have worked with multiple coaches, and that is something even I see that they're lacking. They always want to show the very yeah, exactly, and they always want to showcase themselves as the best one. And yeah, it's like we are humans end of the day, and then there are ups and downs even in our life. And then when you're coaching, it's very important to focus on them, or focus on those things also, and then being very realistic and very empathetic when you are approaching. I really love
Love
that.
that.
And yeah, Meher, so there is one area I am very curious when I invited you for this podcast. There is something I always want to talk about is the role of content creation and visuals, especially in the business. And you have been in the business for almost 6 7 years. I'm sure you have seen so many trends changing in terms of the content, in terms of the trends of the platform. And of course, I have to admit that I have really fallen in love with the way how you're creating content recently, especially the visuals, the reels visuals. I fell in love. So they're
Thank
so engaging, they're so stunning visually. And so, yeah, can you share a bit about what is the creative process when it comes to making this content? When you started your business and from now, what are the differences you are seeing? And then how actually do you come up with those ideas, and then how are you keeping yourself up to date with this changing the trends and then making your content still engaging with your audience?
Absolutely. I think when I started out, and thank you so much for saying that. I love that. Thank you. When I started out, carousels were in trend, like
Right,
anything.
right,
They
yeah,
Everybody used to post carousels and reach 100,000. So that was a good time.
true,
But
true, true.
I mean, I am talking post reels,
Yeah,
before reels.
yeah, yeah,
So I feel like a grandma now. But
yeah.
anyway,
Yeah,
so yes. So basically, I think that when I started, and even if somebody listening to this podcast, if you're starting content out, you are definitely going to feel like you are going to run out of ideas.
right,
It is
yeah.
definitely going to happen. After
Mm-hmm.
having posted at least 1,000 content pieces in 7 years, I can vouch for this that you will never run out of content ideas. That's the rule number one. Right.
Okay, yeah,
And secondly, I believe that the visuals play a huge part. And as much as we run away from visuals, as much as we don't want to create reels, as much as we don't want to probably show up or be out there, because it's human tendency to be in a
correct,
comfort level or a
correct,
comfort zone.
yeah,
Absolutely normal, absolutely
mm,
okay. But the point is, visuals communicate your message much faster than anything in the world, right?
true, true.
Because even if you're listening to something, your one sense is being used. You are reading
Mm-hmm.
something, when one sense is being used. When you are
Yeah,
actually seeing a video, multiple senses are used.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
you get goosebumps. So your skin
correct,
also used.
yeah, yeah,
So it's so beautiful how much of an impact you can create with a visual coming through from you.
mm,
And I would say,
mm,
as a content creator, if you are not making the most out of it, uh, people are. So your
mm,
competition is, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
even if you are putting yourself in a comfort level or a zone which is completely acceptable, and you should know that you are doing it for a real business, even if you're working from home. You know,
correct, correct.
it's very important that you treat your business that you've started yourself. You are a self-made person, you're an entrepreneur, you are
Mm,
anything, you're a content creator. You have to treat your business like it's a real business because it's making you real money.
right,
You know,
right, yeah,
so my process with content is very simple. I create scripts like I'm talking to someone, and
okay,
not just anyone, but I imagine a cutout of my ideal client. That's
correct,
really
got
important.
it, yeah,
Like I talk to, okay, there are 5 levels of awareness. Just gonna quickly, touch that.
yeah, yeah,
So you have unaware, you have problem aware, you have solution aware, you have most aware, and all of these, other awarenesses.
yeah,
It's about really tapping into one level of awareness when you are creating content. So you don't have
mm,
to reach to beginner and advanced level of audience all at once. You will not be able to do
correct,
that,
correct, yeah,
right?
true,
So
mm,
either you cater to the beginner or the advanced. And
yeah,
if you are not getting a lot of engagement on a promotional piece of content, doesn't mean you should stop talking about your offer. You
right,
know,
right,
I'm
yeah,
literally touching like 7 different things right now.
yeah, yeah,
That's how much like I get excited when it comes to content. I would just
oh,
say
yeah,
content creation is a game changing. It's life changing. If you have not started it as yet, please do. The world needs more of you.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, all the thing that you're speaking, it's making me thinking a lot about what you said about the visuals, especially because I have to admit that I'm someone who pays zero attention to the visuals when I'm creating my videos because I feel like I'm not the creative when it comes to changing the visuals rapidly. So I always stick to like one angle of B rolls or something like that. And I am sure there are so many people like me, and so on these lines, what I want to know about is what do you think that if someone wants to get started with focusing on the visuals, of course, as long as the content along with the visuals, content is also important to attract the right audience. So I just wanted to clarify that, because there are so many people think that as long as the visuals are good, even the content is shitty, it will get them views and then clients. So I want to clarify on that. So what role do you think, or not role, what process do you think one have to start with when they want to focus on the visuals in their content creation process?
Absolutely. I think and that's completely all right. For a lot of time, even I was creating sitting videos and with one angle, even I was not ready to experiment and get out of my comfort zone because I was just too much in love with my comfort zone. I just
Yeah.
didn't want to leave it, right?
Hmm.
So it's very important right now that I keep reminding myself and the audience as well that, of course, that you're running a real business, you have to show up and all of that. But also, if you are actually putting a content piece out there, make it so
Hmm.
appealing because it is actually going to stay in the horizon or
Speech.
in
Yeah.
the space forever.
Correct.
So
Correct.
make it
Correct.
worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would say that if you don't want to start with like different angles of talking, just start
Hmm.
with different angles of B-rolls. That's
Right.
it,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Got it.
Where you are
Yeah.
sitting, you're just typing, you're writing, you are writing on a whiteboard, you are just
Hmm.
doing your own thing, in the
Hmm.
room. But
Hmm.
at least give at least four angles, and after
Hmm.
every 7 words, your angle must change. That's a key, or that's a rule of thumb that I follow.
Got it. Got it. That's
Right?
amazing. So yeah, it totally makes sense. You explained it so well, where to start from when you want to make better use of your visuals in the content. So I know from past 7 years you have worked with so many coaches and so many service providers in this whole journey. But what do you think that the biggest mistake, the most common mistake they are making when it comes to content creation on social media, or especially Instagram? So, what is that one mistake that you have seen very regularly, very often from your clients, or when you look at other people's profiles?
Um, I think people try to copy trends or people try to copy each other way too soon without even
Hmm.
realizing that if you are trying to copy someone else, it's going to become so obvious that people are actually going to find the source and going to go there, not
Hmm.
towards you. So that's
Got it.
number one.
Hmm.
Number
Hmm.
two is, as cliche as this sounds, people don't start. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that is really, really, really a big problem. You have to start before you feel ready because after 7 years of being in the business and creating content almost every single day, I can vouch for this. You will never feel ready. That's it.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
That's
Very well said.
that's really true because even till date, I don't feel and day after tomorrow is my shoot day. I shoot
Yeah.
5 reels in one day. That's batch creation. And
Okay.
I dread it.
Hmm.
I
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. 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 But
So
still,
that's
yeah, it's part of the business. It's still part of the business, and then
yes.
it's like sometimes you have to you will be feeling very drained to get ready and then put the makeup on to be camera ready and all of that. But yeah, it's part of the business.
It's
Yeah.
part of the business. It's a huge part. It's a huge
Yes.
part. It's going to get you
Definitely.
recognition. It's going to get you the clients. It's going to get you the money, the everything. It's going to get you. Then why to treat it like it's some secondary or some tertiary thing in the business any which way? Primary.
Exactly, exactly. So a lot of people neglect content creation, especially because they think that you post randomly, like once in a while on one story, and one post on your feed will get you the clients, and then obviously they don't see the results, and then they end up quitting. They end up
Yes.
giving up on their business. That's became very normal nowadays. I have seen a lot of people whom I worked with in 2020, 2021, or no more in the business because they were
Yes.
not able to be consistent on their content game or their business game, the strategy part and content part. Very
So
true. Very well said. Yeah. Yeah. Because we are talking about the content. I know that you have a course called Content Crash Course, and it sounded like game changer for all the people who wants to create the content creation. But what inspired you to create it, and why are you calling it as last course you will ever need for content creation?
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I stand by that. I stand by that because I am a I am a very I'm a deep learner. I that's one thing I like about myself, despite all the other things I don't like. But this one
Yeah.
thing is that I really want to learn every single day. And if I pass by a day without learning, I feel like that's a failed day, right? So I actually went through every top course that is on content in the
Hmm.
industry, whether
Right.
it is international or it is Indian. I went through everything. I went through
True.
coaching, I went through content strategists, I went through scripts, I went through everything. this literal this literally inspired me, or actually pushed me to
Hmm.
create content crash course, because I have not seen any course talk about this. I would say strategy is something else also. The compilation of hierarchy of things that are needed in a content strategy.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
starting from branding to business foundations to profile optimization, like all these things are there in different courses but not talked about in one course. you know
Makes
that's the
sense. Yeah.
reason why I created this course, and really I am blown away by the response I'm getting. Thank you so much for mentioning the course. I think it's really like it's just 1297 INR, so
Yeah.
price of a pizza. But
Yeah.
really, actually, the last course you would need to nail your content strategy. And if you want to start your journey, definitely the course for you, and it's only 40 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it sounds very, very interesting. I will definitely leave the link for the same in the episode description also. So yeah, so because we are talking on the content creation, I'm sure you would have covered this in your course, but definitely. But I want for my audience sake, I want to ask you that if I want to be consistent with content creation, what are the things that you will highly recommend to keep focusing on to be like first thing, definitely, as you mentioned already, batch creation is something that will definitely help you to be consistent. But other than that, what are the things that you keep the each coach to look forward so that they will never run out of the content ideas and they will never run out of being inactive on their content?
Absolutely. So first of all, make a promise to yourself that you are going to show up every single day, no matter
Yeah,
what, whether it's something that you like or you don't like. You are doing it not for yourself, not for your audience, but for your business. So with
right.
that mindset, you will be able to actually stay consistent because you have a responsibility on your shoulders. So that's number
True.
one, right?
True. Yeah.
Number two, you are never going to get content ideas when you sit down to write content ideas. So that's a myth,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever you're walking, whenever you're cooking, whenever you're helping your kids, your colleagues, anything like that, you are going to pop with ideas. That's when
Yeah.
you use your notes app or your voice note. That's it,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
dump everything for the entire week. You sit on one Friday and you script continuously. That's the key, because when your
Hmm.
brain is in that zone to script, it doesn't want to shoot,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yeah.
So don't script and shoot and script and shoot. Just script for 3 hours, script everything, and then on a Saturday and Sunday, preferably only Saturday, shoot 5 reels in one go. That's the key.
Okay.
Batch creation is the key to consistency. No matter who tells you what, it's really the baseline and the key, only because you are never going to feel consistent motivation,
True. True. True.
right?
True. Yeah. Yeah.
And discipline has to be over motivation. You cannot go by your mood. You
Correct.
have to
Correct.
go by
Yeah.
the plan.
Balance. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. It's a true words of an intelligent girl in the school or college. Yeah. Okay. So on the same lines, when you say that I mean, especially first of all, I have to say that I am very blown away with your car speaking videos. It's like you're known for that. And then whenever I think of Meher, first thing that comes to my mind is your videos where you're talking sitting inside the car. It's like it's like a brand element. Your steering wheel is your brand element. I should say that when you said personal brand is important. So yeah. So on the same lines, what is that? I mean, how do you draw the inspiration to do the videos in the car? It's like I know it's very unique, and then I have not seen anyone else. Of course, I have seen people doing it on stories when they're driving, and then when they're going to pick their kids, especially international coaches. I have seen, but for you, it became like personal brand element. what is that inspired you to create such kind of a unique brand element when it comes to your content? Like, how does other people can draw the inspiration from you and then think what can be that one element for their content also?
Right. Thank you so much. I think the reason why I started creating videos in the car is because a lot of people in my audience who are personal brands and who create content, who are creators, they told me that they don't have the time, which is
Okay.
very
Okay.
wrong
Right.
because it's your business that you're doing.
Yeah.
So you have to make time. But
Hmm.
I am actually trying to indirectly inspire people to create content because I am interim, I am driving and I'm
Yeah.
creating
Yeah.
content. And
Right.
I'm obviously parked and creating content because I don't want, safety first, but
Yeah.
it's a message out there indirectly, psychologically, that you can make content literally anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds very interesting. Awesome. So Meher, so what's next for you? What are the future plans or projects that are coming up for you and for your business? I would like to know about what is coming up and then what can we wait for?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, definitely, I think one thing that is coming up is the software that we are working on. It's called
Hmm.
AutoWade. AutoWade
Okay.
is actually a software that is built to help personal brands build and
Okay.
monetize within minutes,
Oh,
right?
nice. Yeah. Hmm.
Yes. So it's all about personal brands. And I am heading the marketing department of this software and I will soon be the CEO. So it
Hmm.
is a software closest to my heart because we've been working on it for 2 years now. But the point
Nice.
is that it is actually a revolutionary software,
Hmm.
one of its kind, because it's built for personal brands. And personal brands, as I said, is the future. Right.
Hmm. Yeah.
So we are helping personal brands really with the systems, all kinds of
Right.
systems, with
Hmm.
marketing, with selling, with payments, with literally everything. So it's like uh, a version of Kajabi for personal brands. That's the software.
Awesome. Awesome. It sounds very interesting. So when are you releasing it?
Well, we are going to release the beta next month, which is in
Uh,
September, and we are going to be out of beta in 3 months. So you can really expect the software out and about very, very soon.
That's awesome. So, I mean, because we are talking about this software, I just wanted to ask, like, how does this stand apart from Kajabi? Because I know many people are using Kajabi, not in Indian market. Indian market, not many people are using, but definitely a lot of international business entrepreneurs use Kajabi or Katra. There are so many tools which are which are known to be like all-in-one platforms,
Yes.
right? So, how AutoWade is going to stand apart from these platforms? What
Two
makes it special?
Yes, thank you for the question. Two reasons. Number one, because I am building it along with my team, and my team and myself, we all are personal brands. So the
Right.
element of empathy is at an all-time high.
Hmm. Hmm.
We are personal brands building a software for personal brands. So we know the inside out of what is needed, right?
Right.
That's number
Right.
one. And number two is the ease. We just
Hmm.
want your business to get up and running. We don't want you to do 50 things before, selling something. We want you to make money fast. So the speed and the ease is actually something that is so unique. It's almost like it's like a version of Canva,
Right. Right.
how
Yeah.
fast things are in Canva. So
Yeah.
this is something I'm really proud of. And these are the two reasons why we really stand out in the market.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, Meher, for introducing, for going to launch something amazing in the Indian market, especially. And I'm really excited to looking forward for the launch and then check it out for sure. So yeah, this has been super, super value packed conversation, Meher. But I know our listeners are going to get a lot of value from this episode, especially with respect to content creation and then how to be consistent on the content game. So, where can people find you and learn more about your current work and then your future work?
Well, I'm very active on Instagram. You can find me at Mehar.Labana, and you
Hmm.
can find me on LinkedIn as well. So I'm, really active on Instagram and LinkedIn. And just send me a hi and we'll chat.
That's great. That's great. So, before we wrap up, just like how I start my episodes with one specific question, I also would like to end the episode with one specific question. So, the question is, what is that one line of advice you want to give to the business owners when it comes to running a sustainable business?
Absolutely. I think the line that I want to tell you is actually in Hindi, right? And it is खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुदा तुझसे पूछे बंदे तेरी रजा क्या है. So really make yourself so capable, so amazing, so good at what you do that the universe conspires to have you succeed. You know,
Yeah.
put success in your feet. So don't make excuses. Start before you are ready and do not chase your mood or perfection. That's what I have for you.
Yeah. And also behave like you are already successful.
Absolutely. Manifest.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for that advice. And it's so inspiring and it's so powerful advice. I will also personally take it with me from this episode. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really glad that you accepted my invitation to be my guest on the podcast.
It's an honor.
It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much. And it was lovely talking to you. I literally had so much fun. I did not even know where the time went. So thank you so much. And I think you are doing a wonderful job with this podcast, with your content. Hoping to see a lot more of you. And just a very, very big thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mehar. Thank you.
Thank you.